You're welcome to this episode of the Nigerian Theatre Witnesses to History. It's the program on which we bring you people who have traversed the Nigerian theatre in the last 40, 50, 60 years, have made their impact, and for them to tell their stories of the things they did in the theatre or in associated fields since they joined, why they joined, and those people that they worked with. And today we have an interesting participant who is our witness. Is none other than the man from Ijon. He's called Dele Morakinyo, an actor, an artist manager. He is also someone who immersed himself in theater and has worked with lots of directors, lots of actors, lots of managers, lots of technical people, and brings rich experience into our discussion today. As we start this discussion, we are going to have a very great time with Dele Morakinyo. I ask that if you try and watch this, like the program, share it. When you press the subscribe button, that bell button on the YouTube, you will be notified each time a new episode comes on air. A new episode is on air every Thursday. So we invite you to be a part of the Nigerian Theatre Witnesses to History. Dele,
Yeah.
you're welcome. Have I properly introduced you as someone who put his 2 feet in every area of the Nigerian theatre?
Oh, yes, very well. It's not surprising because you should know me after these many years
Yes.
of conspiracy.
I've known Dele at least from 1976, and I want him to tell his story, how he came into the theatre.
Well, thank you, Tunde. How do I say accidental or natural inclination pushed me into the theatre. Natural because I'm privileged to have had a very jovial, lively father who also was a literature graduate and was more or less the school drama teacher wherever he taught across the old Western region. So he was the inspiration. And unlike very many people in this our profession who always complain that their parents try to dissuade them from going to it, I'm an exception. Because my father actually encouraged me to go into it. Not that he directed me to, he wanted me to be what I wanted to be.
Yes.
And you must have noticed that right from when I was in the primary school, there was this drama that became very popular in Ekiti, where I had my primary school education. Well, maybe because of my small stature, there was a character actually named Kekere, and it was obvious that was the role that would suit me.
Yeah.
And it was in the days of opera nature, where every character would sing
Yes.
his or her own dialogue. So that was how I started. Then it got to a point, I started writing my own, I call it script.
Yes.
Just some small 3-4 page thing that was quite good as far as my contemporaries were concerned. We would do it just to amuse ourselves. Until suddenly I found out that I was becoming immersed. Whenever we were on holiday from school, any time there was any of these traveling theater performances in towns where we were, either where my father was teaching in Ado-Ekiti or where he got transferred to Ile-Ife. Whenever there was any of these traveling theaters, Ibatogunde, Adelove, Olaya, Musolaya, Oladipo, Dele, all of them, I had the privilege. Had the privilege of watching and became friends with many of them. So my father would take me to see this place. So at times when I discuss the productions of all these people, some people will wonder, you this man at your age, how come you know all these people? I say, well, it happened that my father was interested, so he got me, acquainted quite early in life. So but sincerely, when I was a baby, as in just 2 years, 3 years, grammatically I don't know if that's a baby, but I wanted to be a policeman. I became
many children like to be policemen because of the authority.
I just found out. But interestingly, the reason why I wanted to be a policeman was because there's this Yoruba, made from grounded dry maize. They call it adu.
Yes.
I so much loved it that I said the reason why I wanted to be a policeman was that I would be using my salary to buy adu. Up till about 15, 20 years back, I had this uncle. Whenever he saw me, he said, you this man? You see, I've not joined this your policeman. Your policeman. Yeah, but as I progressed, I was drifting towards the sciences. But something kept telling me, am I really a scientist? Maybe because I could draw, so I was good in practical and so on. But the nitty-gritty, the data, the analysis, I was into.
That's right.
Yes. So eventually I ended up becoming a theater artist. I went to the university to read dramatic arts. That's Obafemi Awolowo, then University of Ife, to read dramatic arts. I specialized in playwriting. But the nature of the training was that you act, you dance, you sing, you do technical, you do everything, but with your view, with your specialization in view. Professor Wole Soyinka was my head of department. He was also my teacher because he was taking the playwriting class. And we were fully involved in his very famous agitprops, those advocacy productions that he was doing, either to lambast corruption and corrupt tendencies in public offices, or any of such malfeasance that was troubling the society. We were all students who were involved in that, including his job as the road marshal. Then, so all the social engineering thing enriched our experiences as students. So we were not just the book type, but we were the action-driven, hands-on, action-driven students in our days. One had the opportunity also of, so when my father got transferred to Ife, it was in the days of the late Professor Olarotimi, when he was was head of the university theater.
Yes.
And there was this where they called Oluolokun,
Yes.
which used to be an arts place, which was outside the campus. It was a professional or quasi-professional outfit where he was grooming theater artists of, various interests.
Yes.
Writing.
Yes.
And the product, he called it a workshop group, and the product had grown to become very, very impactful, players.
Do you want to recall some of them?
Yes, that's what I'm about doing now. The late Oladejo Okediji, who, to the best of my knowledge, most contemporary espionage drama series. He wrote a trilogy
Right.
of Ajalulelu,
Yes.
which by the grace of God I had the privilege of producing and directing for NTA Ibadan
Yes.
with the late Dr. Aisho Pepe,
Yes.
Ishola Ogunshola,
Hello, Bishola.
whose group I used
Right.
to produce
that.
Ajalulelu. Sequel to this, to Ajalulelu, was Agbalagba. Then he ended the trilogy with Karikapo.
That's Karikapo.
Notice was that he was groomed. He had the talent, obviously, but he was groomed at this Olarotimi's workshop. And he wrote, that was the day when one of such products from that workshop was Rerenu. Was Rerenu.
Yes.
Then
That was a very powerful
yes,
product.
yes. Then Bekude also came out of that. All these now had various, adaptations.
Yeah, adaptations.
Adaptations, yes. Then in those days, I was very much excited being in the company at Arubidi. That's where Oluolokun was. You see people like Rufus Orishayomi, who later became a fantastic camera operator of blessed memories. Then you have people like Jimmy Sholanke, the legend.
Yes.
You have Kola Oyewo.
Yes.
You had Peter Fatomilola. In fact, in the case of Peter Fatomilola, I think I knew him far back as 1971, when my father took up appointment as the principal of Ife City College, where Peter Fatomilola was a student. Then I knew him playing the role of Babalawo. So apart
In
from
1971.
yeah. So interestingly, his father then was the head of the Ifa priest community in Ekiti. Yeah. So he was my father's student then, but he had my father gave him the leeway because of his talent in school to be participating in performances at the Oluolokun.
Oh.
Yeah. Morakinyo Yelami,
Yes.
the master drummer. So at times whenever I found myself there, I would not feel like going home, but the society was very secure then. I would leave very late. I was always sure that I would have no problem with my parents at home, because it was it's like I was given a blank check to go there to watch performances. Yes. And that was how my mind just switched. That look, this is what
this is theater.
What I want
that's
to do.
my calling.
Yeah, this is what I want to do. So I now had to drift towards those who are involved in it. Then found myself in Ibadan, where the whole thing became, really, really entrenched in me.
Yes.
And I became fully entrenched in it as well.
Yes.
And while we were in Ife,
who are some of your colleagues in Ife? In the dramatic arts?
Akin Lewis,
Yes.
who today is a famous face
Yes.
in Nollywood. There was a late friend now, Tunji Fatilewa, the director, the actor, the writer, a published writer, who made the name as the author of the very, very eclectic Torrents of Soweto. There was Olumide Bakari,
Yes.
also a fantastic actor,
Yes.
who actually, I think he had a distinction in acting
Right.
in Ife. Then there was
Baroka in
the Lions and Choyuka's Lion and the Joy. Then there was Toye Olautun.
Yeah, Victor.
Victor, who was then Victor
Akapo.
Then Temitayo Taiwo,
Yes.
a fantastic actress
in the US
who is now in the diaspora. Jumoke P,
Yeah.
who later married Jumoke Kailejaye. I have a Selena from Edo State.
Yes.
They came from Edo State. Some of them actually were in Lagos for first act.
Yes.
Many of them now got, stayed behind in Ibadan and went to Ife. When we all went to Ife, we actually went to Ife for a professional course, course certificate in dramatic art. So this way, what happened was that the then general manager of NTA, Ambassador Yemi Farumbi, then main staff, had a vision to set up NTA Theatre. So he actually came to Ife at the tail end towards the end of our program,
Yes.
to discuss with us, towards having us at the station. It was like about 7 or 8 of us were employed at once in the station as the pioneer members of the NTA Theatre. There. Then that group grew to, beyond the NTA and really cross-fertilize with the University of Ibadan Performing Company, where we have people like Ayodu Asomi, we have people like Sam Loko, we have people like Tom,
Yes.
we have people like Bosse Ayeni, we have people like Ibadan then was, the place to be for performing arts, for theatre, both in the theory because of the university and also in the practice because of the product of the university. So what you had there was, it was like a congregation.
Yes.
Theatre to many of us then was like a worship session. Every time there was always something to do.
Yeah.
And there were occasions for, I would form a group, individuals would form groups, but we ended up collaborating on productions. I cannot forget Day production. That was Dele, my humble self, Ayo, lots of your blessed memory, Yomila Inka, also, whom I forgot to mention, as one of those
products.
So we were then always working together. We would take a play on our own, no sponsors, but we would break onto the streets, I remember we took Bodesho one day, the night before, which is a campus story.
Yeah.
We took it to all the orientation camps. Because
for NYC.
Yeah, for NYC orientation camps. We went to Ademi College, we went in Ondo, that was where it was there. There was no Ekiti State there. We stayed it here in Ibadan. Went to Yaba College of Tech, which was in Lagos then. All this with no sponsors. What we did was contributed, because we were working. We contributed money from our pockets, which chartered vehicle. It will take us for the performance, wait overnight, and bring us back.
So that was some commitment.
That was the
Commitment.
yes. That was what we're doing, and I can't remember we break even, but nobody died of starvation.
Yeah, you had
On
fun.
account.
You
That
had
was
fun, even if there wasn't money.
And it bonded us
Yeah,
together
yeah,
because of those
yeah.
rigorous period, the moment we had together as youth, because we were all in our early 20s. I doubt if anybody was even mid-20s then.
I want us to know that we are on the very interesting program called the Nigerian Theatre Witnesses to History. And our guest today is Mr. Dele Morakinyo, who has been taking us into how he evolved from a young age with a focus on theatrical practices, because his father was also trained in literature and was involved with theater in secondary schools at the time, and wherever he went, he had an opportunity to mix with those who were also in the theater. That kept his interest, and so, unlike so many people who would have been told at home, don't do theater, theater people don't prosper, he had a sort of encouragement from when he was young. So, and those who love theater, so that you can be abreast of the history of the Nigerian theater, because that is the purpose of this program, to link us to the things that had happened in this field in the last 40, 50, 60 years that have not been properly documented, so that in future this can be documented. This can help other people to continue to have a good knowledge, even far into the future, of what the Nigerian theater had been and how it is headed the way it is going. It's branched into a lot of television series, film series, and we want to keep you linked to those things. Until we come back next week with another episode with the continuation of this one, it's bye for now.